guys, welcome to my channel. This is Rajesh Yadav, and in today's video I am going to cover SAS interview questions based on raw data reading. So on this topic, interviewer generally asks tricky questions. So in today's session we will learn these techniques and I will solve these questions practically. So let's first understand the raw data that we are going to use to solve the questions. So this is the raw data, and the first one, these are all the column names, variable names, and if you go at the bottom, see here total records are showing 430, but you can see the last record contains a total 428 information. So this is containing the count of all the records we have in the file. So you may ask that here it's showing 429, why this is written as 428? I have wrote this 428 total count because I am excluding the header row. So if you go here, so this is the header. These are the columns. These are basically metadata. In SAS, we store all the column or metadata information as descriptor portion, not the actual data portion. So actual data is from here till here. So now let's jump to the questions. So here is the first question. Read first record of the file to find out the variable names. So here I have showed you these variable names, but what generally happens in real life, we receive data in a large file. Data can be of few MBs to gigabytes. Just to double click and to open and see, it's not possible because system will get hang. We first need to find a technique to read only this first line and to find out what all are name of the variables. Generally in real life, when we do a development, we receive a separate file that contains these metadata information, means name of all the variables and their types and their size is provided separately so that we can read it easily. But in our case, we haven't received anything. So we have only these variables. We do not know anything and we cannot open the file. You will just receive the file as it is and you cannot open it. Next question, read variables correctly, either character or numeric. So no metadata information is given. We need to find out what is the type of variable, either it's character or either it's numeric. Third question is skip the last record that contains information about total rows count in source file. So when we will create the output data set, we do not want that information to be written to the output data set, right? Which information? If we go at the bottom, so this information, we do not want this to be when we create an output data set. So if we add this, then it will go under make variable. So make variable contains what? So it contains the car brand OD like this. So this is not a brand total 428. It's a wrong data. Okay, so we do not want this to be written into output data set. So how we will skip this? Okay, we'll learn that technique. And last is assign last row's total count information in a macro variable. This information we need to write it into a macro variable. So these are 4 questions we are going to solve. So let's start. Okay, so I am going to practically solve these questions in SAS Studio. So if you do not know how to access this SAS on demand software, then I have already created a video to access this software. I will attach the link at the end of this video so you can learn how to access this. Now we need to upload source data. So this is the file source data. How we can upload in this software? Just go wherever your folder is. Generally create a folder in home. So I have created mine. Just go right click and click on upload files and select the file. So this is the location where this file is going to upload, and then choose file is in test folder. So file is in test folder cars, and if you click on open, then you just need to click on upload. So just go. You can see file is available here. How you can see this file? Right click on view file as text. So you can see we are able to see the file, and at the end that information is available. I'll close this. I'm deleting this file for now. I have created a code to generate this file. So I'll just double click. So this is the code. Take a screenshot if you want to create this in your environment. All you need to do is just click run and it will generate that file for you. So we have our source file. Now we are going to solve our 4 questions. So first we need to create a program. So how to create a program? Right click and click on new SAS program. F4 is the shortcut. I'll save this first. Read raw data cars. I'll just save this. Where I'm saving? I'm saving here in Rajesh folder. So I just select, and so this is our program. Now what we need to do is we need to step by step read this. What is the first question? First question, read the first record of the file to find out the variable name. So we need to read the first record. So first we need to create a reference of this file to read. So I'll give file name and then I'll give a reference, file reference. So I give my file, my location, whatever you want to give. And then what is the location? So how to find out the location? You just right click, properties. This is the location. Copy this, close and paste here. Then forward slash, what is the name of the file? Now I am able to create the file reference. Now I need to read the first record of the file. So how would I read? So I'll give data, then I'll create cars dataset, and then in file, and then file reference, my LOC. Okay, then I'll give DSD for delimiter sensitive data. Just read more about this, and I am going to read the first records. So first OBS equal 1, and how many rows I'm going to read? I'm going to read only 1, so I'll give this, and then I'll use this. So after this input, I am not giving any variable name. Let me first write it and then we will understand. So I create a variable called first record equal underscore in file underscore, and then run. Now you can see what I'm trying to do here is I'm saying read this file and only read the first record. Okay, total record equal 1. Then I have only mentioned input. I'm not reading any values in a variable. So input is used to read the complete line from the file in input buffer. How files gets read? Entire line is read from the file and it stores in input buffer. Input buffer is what? It's a location in memory. This line size can be maximum 32,767 character long. So these are too many characters. And then I am saying entire line that is in input buffer, that is stored in this statement in file. So you can access that entire line that is in input buffer. So I am saying whatever in the input buffer, the entire line, store that line into this variable first record. Now I will run this. So now you can see first line of the variables are there. Now what I need to do is, so I've just copied this in Excel and I will paste this. Now you can see each variable name is separated by comma. CSV is comma separated file. Click on data, then go in text to columns. This dialog box will open. Here select delimited, click next, and then what is the delimiter here? Comma is the delimiter. So I'll select comma and then next and then finish. So now you can see I have all my variables in each column without comma. Just keep it for now. Let's go back to our code. I'll go here, click code. I will read now full data. So I'll click data, create cars, and then in file, because we are reading the file now full, because we now have the name of the variables, so we can give along with input or we can use in format statement. Everything is same, DSD, and first OBS equal now 2, because we are not going to read the variable names from the data. We are defining the variable names, and OBS we are going to read all, so I'm not giving anything here. Semicolon. Now next statement that will define the variable and their type. So we can use input statement and then give the variable name and then their in format. But instead of this, better thing is we will give an in format statement. So I will give in format like this, and then I will give variable name. Select these variables like this. Okay, so I have all the variable names, and then I will go here and I will do paste special. So right click here, click on paste special. This dialog box will open. Here select values and then select transpose. Click OK. So now all the variables are in transposed position. Now I will just drag this one also. So when you go at the corner, big plus will become thin plus like this. Just drag this, and now we do not know what type of variables are these numeric character. So by default I am going to read all variables as character, and then we will find out what type of variable is actually. So I will give dollar and then the size, so 100 dot, and then here I will give semicolon. I will select both and again I will go at the corner and drag. So now I am able to create the statement to read all the records. So I will copy this and go into my code and I'll paste, right? So I am able to create this, and now because this will define the in format, how the data is present in file. Okay, now in which variable these data should go? So we need, for input buffer, we need input statement. With in format, we are giving each variable in one line, but for input we need to give all variables. We do not need to repeat input statement again and again. So this time I will type input and then I'll just this copy, and then the size is not required, only the type is required. So I'll give dollar and then drag. Semicolon is required at the end, so we'll add this in our code. Just copy this. I will go in our coding and then I'll paste this. So you can say input, I'll just give enter. So all variables I have mentioned, all I need to do is just, and then I will do a run. We are able to create this. Now we will run. Okay, so I'll just select this and click run. See, it is able to read the data. Total rows are 429 and total columns are 15. So if we see, these are our columns, and each of the column type, if you want to see, just click, it will show the value. Okay, the type is character. Now if you go and see, it will show only 100 records at a time here. So if you want to see the last record, just click here and you will go and see this record also got read. 428. We do not want to read this, right? This is the question. We do not want to read this. But before that, what is our question? Read variables correctly, either character or numeric. So now we have read only all variables as character. So we are going to solve this second question. Read variables correctly with their type. So I will not going to show this for all variables. So I'll show you only for few. Okay, so if you want to hide this, just click here and it will hide. Even you can do this and do this. Okay, and then scroll. So if you can see, so this MSRP is showing as numeric, right? It's a currency, dollar, numeric data. Invoice is numeric data. Okay, so how we will read this? So I will try and read this one. So I'll just take this variable is MSRP. Okay, I'll just go. Okay, so how we will read this? So in format is for when we read the data, and what type of our data is? So this data is numeric. So what variable we are talking about? We are talking about this MSRP. MSRP is what type of data? It contains a dollar, right? See, so numeric dollar, comma is there but no decimal places. If you see, there is no decimal places. So we will specify the format accordingly. So I'll just remove this MSRP, and what is the format? We need, in format we need to specify. So first we need to find out the size, count everything, okay, including comma and dollar. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, total digits are 7, wherein comma and these are included. We will use dollar in format and will give size as 7, $7 dot. Now go at the bottom, because here we have specified this as character. So I'll need to remove this. We need to specify $sign in input for only character variables, and if it's a numeric, then we do not need to specify anything here because we are using in format. So I'll just run this, select and run. Hide this, just go here, drag. See, now you can see it has read, but dollar and comma has gone. That means we have read the numeric data correctly, but formatting has gone. So if you come this side and then again show this, just drag. So you will see all the variables. Click on MSRP and you will able to find out MSRP is what type of variable. It's numeric. So we are able to correctly read it. Now in output data also I want this to show like this. So similar way, when we give the in format, we just need to give format. I'll just go in Excel. Even I will use the same. So now this is in format. I need to remove the in. It will become format. We need to replace, find and replace command. So all you need to do is just press Ctrl and F keys together. So this dialog box will open. Click on replace and find what? In format, and replace with format. Replace all. Okay. And what was the format here we used? $7, right? $7 dot. Let's copy everything and just go in our code and paste. Fine. Our code is becoming big. I'll just select everything and run. Now you can see it has run fine, and I'll just hide this. So now just go to our variable. What is the variable? MSRP. Now you can see it is numeric and it has dollar and everything, same as the source data. There is another way to identify if it's numeric or not. Numeric data is generally aligned right. So you can see this is aligned right, and this one is, though it's numeric, but we have read it as character for invoice variable. So you can see it's left aligned. So now I have read one variable correctly. So you can do the same for rest of the variables. If I'll do this, it will take more time. Okay, I'll do it one more variable, not this $1, but this time I will select engine size. So it's 3.5. So you can see it has dot, it's a 1 decimal. So we will need to specify that. So we'll just correct this engine size. So here I will correct this. So I'll remove this. I will do 8.1, because 1 decimal place maximum size of numeric value is 8 bytes. So that's why I've given 8. And then we'll go here and engine size, same we will do here also, 8.1. Rest is fine. I'll just select everything till our code here. I'll run this. Go in output data and then here drag, and where is the engine size? So this is the engine size, and here you can check this is a numeric variable now. Okay, format is 8.1, and then I will just go and see the values now. See, engine size variable is now right aligned, and these values are numeric. So you can do rest of the variables, you can identify and then you can read them. I'll keep it as it is, otherwise this video will become too big. Next question, what we need to solve? Skip the last record that contains information about total rows count in source file. Output data set, go at the end, and we are seeing that it is reading this row. We do not want this row to be read. So we need to find out if it's a first row or last row. To find out last row, we need to use one option. This option is available with set statement as well as with infile statement. So it's and equal last. So I am creating a variable last, name as last, and this variable will hold value 1 when reading the last row from the file. I will now use condition to find out last row. If last equal 1, then stop. It will not write that record in the output data set. Let's run this and see what will happen. Run. Now you can see it is showing only 428 rows. I'll just go to the last record and then drag down. You can see now we do not have that total count row in our output data set. So we are able to solve this question also. Now the last question, assign last row's total count information in a macro variable. So now I want that last row's information in a macro variable. So we'll go in our code. So before stopping, we need to make some changes. So I'll just delete this. Then do what I want. I want when there is a last row, that row's information should be assigned in a macro variable. So we already learned how to read entire row in a variable. We use underscore infile underscore earlier. So we know that when there is a last row, we can store that last row's information in a variable. How to create a macro variable? So we can use call input x. Calls input x is used to create macro variable in data step. Now I'll need to give a macro variable's name. So I'll give source src total count. So this is the macro variable name. Now what value it will hold? It will hold the value of underscore infile underscore, and then semicolon, and we do not want this information to be in output data set, so we'll give stop again, and then we need to align like this so that you can clearly see where is our do starting and do end. Let's select, code is becoming big, select and then click run. It has correctly read. Now we need to check the value of macro variable. So I'll just print the value of this macro variable in SAS log. So I'll use %put ampersand equal this. So now I will run only this line. Select and run. So now you can see SRC total count equal total 428, and then you can see these comma. All I want is only 428. So now what we need to do to extract this 428, to extract text within a text, we use a function. So I am going to use that function here, and that function would be scan. I will use scan. This will be the input string for underscore in file underscore. From here, what we want the second value, and then delimiter would be space. And I need to close one more bracket. I'll select this. First I will run till here, F3. Okay, it will go here at the bottom, and now I will run this. See, now this contains 428. Total word has removed. Now I need to remove these commas. My delimiter become comma. We will use another scan function and will fetch this value. So I will use scan, and because it will give us the 428 with comma. So after that I'll use value 1, and the delimiter this time would become this and this. I'll give this. Just be careful while you closing these brackets. I'll just select this, and now I'll run this, and we'll go again, and I will run this. So now you can see this macro variable contains count of total records, and our output data set also contains 428 records. We are able to solve all these 4 questions. Okay, so that's it guys. I hope you like this video.